I just got done with the Scriptum Chapter 3 Day of Days first look event, and I've had time to collect my thoughts and my footage, and I wanted to bring you my first impressions as well as share with you some of the most immersive moments from the initial rounds that I played. We're going to start with the Utah beach landing. I know everyone's excited for this one. Here we go.
We're going to have to be in the water here? How far up?
I'm going outside. Oh my god.
Regroup calls down. Read rush shots.
Hey, we're in contact already.
Smokes. I'm hit. Medic! Medic's outside. I'm coming.
Smoke's out.
Wait for the first wave of smokes. Contacts on the bunker to the left. MG down. Bunker on the left. Bunker on the left. I come to my captain.
Tag
down.
one on the left.
Clear your smokes, guys. Clear your smokes. I'm moving up to the beach line.
MG on the right. Yeah, got
Oh.
smoke. Got smoke.
Next, we're going to look at the same situation from the perspective of the German defenders.
We got bad eyes in this house. We're coming out.
Yeah, that's a full fucking boat. That's a full boat, boys. Get ready. That is a full transport. Everyone in the squad will be opening up on this transport. Get ready. Here it comes. Go. Go, 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 go.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
After this one, the boat on the right. The boat to the right. Boat to the right. Boat to the right. Hit the right boat. Hit the right boat.
Oh my god.
Can you reload?
Next, we're going to take a look at St. Mary Coleus from the perspective of the U.S. paratroopers jumping into France.
Just pick a plane. Any plane on the east. Pick the east, an eastern.
Yeah, the next one we can get in. You know.
Alright, good luck, boy.
Good luck.
Oh, dude, this is fucking awesome.
Oh, we got dropped way behind you guys.
Guys, alright, rally point. Step while you're in there.
They're shooting at me.
And steer. Holy shit, that's new.
And hold down shift, do it, and it
You
helps
can
you move back.
Oh my god, you can
Yeah,
move
fucking
here now.
steer!
You can steer? I'm steering towards the manor. Alright, rally points right here. Rally points up. Rally points up.
Alright,
Yeah,
instantly.
I got a
To
trench
open
line
up
right
St.
over
Marie,
here.
to open up St. Marie, we gotta take out all the 88 guns on the exit.
Roger. Alright, let's move it to Mark. Move it to Mark.
So my initial thoughts on this event and on Chapter 3. First, the event was incredible. I'm sure you recognized some of the names, some of the voices from the gameplay that you just saw, and they'll be featured throughout the rest of this video as well. So the event itself was awesome. I was super humbled to be a part of it. I was super excited to play with some of my favorite content creators, and the level of play and the energy and the immersion was even more improved because of the audience of people that we were playing with. So that in and of itself was absolutely awesome. My impressions of Utah Beach first. On the attacker's side, it was gritty, it was visceral, it was immersive, and I think the developers did an excellent job of delivering a high-quality experience that effectively balanced both fun and immersion and realism. There was plenty of cover on the beach, and while you are immune from gunfire and artillery while you are on the boats, the moment the ramp drops, we were taking casualties, we were taking effective fire. I'd say that we had roughly a 20 or 30% casualty rate that seemed to be similar across most of the other boats as well. But it means you also have a pretty good opportunity to get off the boat and make your way up to the seawall. Because there's plenty of cover on the beach, you can throw smoke, you can maneuver a little bit, you can suppress the enemy defensive positions, and you can fight your way up effectively. The Allied commander also has access to Naval Barrage artillery gunfire, which is really, really good at delivering smoke, and because it's fired with 3 or 4 barrels at a time off of a battleship off of the coast, all those rounds are impacting simultaneously rather than sort of the piecemeal artillery that we're accustomed to seeing from any of the other artillery barrages on the other maps. So I think that was really well done, and it was really fun. The invasion game mode was a lot of fun on Utah Beach as well. You have to have a sapper or someone with explosives to get up to the seawall and blow open a hole in the barbed wire so that you continue moving inland and ultimately capture the rest of the objectives to secure the map. And despite the fact that we took plenty of casualties on the beach and in the fighting once we got inland, my team was successful and were able to pretty handily win Utah Beach. So it is possible to win on Utah Beach, period. It's well balanced. It's fun. It's awesome. All right. Next, initial impressions from Utah Beach from the perspective of the German defenders. It was really sobering. You saw in that clip that I opened up with from the perspective of the German defenders where Karma Cut pointed out a boat for us to focus fire on, and the moment that Higgins boat dropped its ramp, our machine gun was just raking those guys back and forth. I think maybe one guy got out of there alive, but every single rifle, every single weapon system in our squad was focused in on that one boat. We managed to hold them at the beach for the entire map. So for whatever reason, our team was either just coordinated really well or we had more talent. It certainly wasn't me that was talented because compared to most of the guys that were playing, I was nothing. But we were able to successfully attack as the attackers. We were able to successfully defend as the defenders, which to me means that Utah seems to be very well balanced. It's also very well designed. Oh, and something I completely failed to mention is after you get inland as the attacker, the trenches in Utah is like a replica of Brickcourt Manor, Easy Company obviously jumped in and hit Brickcourt that was behind enemy lines and not directly near Utah Beach. But the mission to get through the seawall and then attack these German 88s, these artillery positions that are in this trench system, felt exactly like that freaking attack from Band of Brothers, which was pretty amazing. All in all, Utah Beach was my preferred map of the night, and I had a blast playing it. Moving on to St. Mary Coleus. We only played one round on St. Mary Coleus. I jumped in as a U.S. paratrooper with the same squad, and my impressions here, again, the experience was incredibly immersive. It was gritty. It was real. The actions in the aircraft, the way that you exit the door is all slightly different than the other airborne assault maps that we've seen before, and I thought it was really awesome. There's flak filling the sky, and it really just draws you in. Once you actually exit the aircraft and your canopy is fully deployed and you reach up and you grab your risers, you can actually slip. So you can pull a one riser slip left or right, sort of like a toggle system on a modern day parachute, and actually turn your paratrooper and point it towards the objective. So you can drive the damn parachute is what I'm saying. So I didn't realize that. I don't think any of us did for about halfway through our descent, and then we all figured it out at the same time. We're really excited about it. Gives you a chance to kind of better position yourself on the map. Once you're on the ground, the mission is first to destroy the anti-aircraft artillery pieces that are scattered throughout St. Mary Coleus. St. Mary Coleus itself is just massive urban sprawl, really narrow streets, tons of rooms and windows and stairwells, and it's really, 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 really dark. Dark to the point that I think some people are going to be frustrated with it, and dark to the point where I think the developers may choose to brighten it up just a bit. I'm fine with it. I'm okay with fighting in the dark. The soldiers of World War II fought in the dark, and I could make out targets, and I was reasonably successful in this particular match, but I think there might be enough whining that the devs brighten it up a bit. So be it. Not a huge deal. It's going to be a blast. Frame rates on St. Mary Coleus also struggled a little bit. I've got a pretty hefty machine, and there's a couple dips early on. It felt smoother later in the match, but all in all, I'm not super worked up about it because it's also the day before release, and they're gonna continue to optimize these maps, and it is beautiful and it plays really fun. The dynamic where you enter St. Mary Coleus from the aircraft is very different than the other airborne assaults that we've seen. So on all the other layers, on all the Chapter 1 maps, when you jump in, you're jumping into an assembly area and then moving linearly through a series of objectives. On St. Mary Coleus, the aircraft seem to spawn all over the place, and when you jump, you can land literally anywhere on the map, which means you're in a 360-degree gunfight from the moment that you're on the ground, which, reality check is how it was for the paratroopers and the German defenders during World War II. That adds a certain level of chaos, and it's a really kind of asymmetric feel because these German squads on the ground are kind of already organized, and you're jumping in and intermingling with them in ones and twos, and it's really exciting. The Germans have armored vehicles, and you don't because you jumped in. You didn't jump in with tanks. So there's a little asymmetric balance there that kind of leads itself to, you kind of have to lurk around in the dark and use your anti-tank weapons to find those armored pieces and take them out if that's your goal. We struggled for a long time to take St. Mary Coleus proper, but once we did, we were able to kind of move out into the countryside. Again, it was super dark moving through the vegetation. Ultimately, we were successful in winning St. Mary Coleus as well. And yeah, that's kind of my first impressions and my first reflections on Chapter 3. I had a blast. It was a lot of fun. Postscriptum's in a super healthy place right now, and I'm really excited to be a part of the community at this time in the game when I know it has so much potential and the community is going to grow exponentially over the course of the next several weeks. To that end, I have 2 Steam keys remaining that I'm going to give away to folks. So if you head over to my Discord server, which is linked below in the description, there's a channel called Giveaways. In the Giveaways channel, there's a link to a Gleam entry for this week's key. So basically the next 2 weeks I'm going to give away 1 key per week to people who are looking to get involved in Postscriptum. And as always, a huge shout out to Wilfos, who supports the channel at the premium level, which means he gets recognized at the end of each one of my videos on my end screen. If you're looking to support the channel in a similar way, if you click the join button, you'll find more information on that, and I'm deeply thankful for all of you who choose to do that. Either way, hope you'll come over to the Discord server so you can join in our next game of Postscriptum. And until next time, I am Controlled Pairs. I play the most immersive PC games in the entire world. And I'll see you in the next one.